The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.
Hello, Hannah.
Hello, Chris.
Well, your book, I was supposed to scan it for the show over the weekend. I couldn't put it down. Honestly, it was absolutely brilliant. So the gist of the book is what?
It is that there's a huge amount of our lives that are predetermined. The choices that we make, the decisions that make all of our lives unique and turn us into highly individual people. And the book is trying to tease apart the aspects of our lives that we might have some control over, and those things that we should just accept.
I will be honest with you, most of them originated in my kitchen disco at home when I was shaking myself around.
Kitchen
and I thought,
disco,
I just thought what you need is drinks to take you to cruising altitude without the need for takeoff. You know, that is what you need when the music is blaring and you think, I need colourful, fun enjoyment. So I threw together some mocktails, cocktails, put them in various different categories, but I decided that the thing that should unite them all is the sense of lift, the mood enhancer, which is, of course, the bubbles. Everything that sparkles is splendid in my world.
Let's go to the Discotizer.
Oh, yes. So
named after you, I understand.
I am the Discotizer. Nobody knows this, but, when I throw myself around in the kitchen disco, I become the Discotizer, part robot, part human, but a whole lot of fun. And I thought, I need a drink that's emblematic of this. So it has to be a jolly colour. It has to be blue in this case, blue Curaçao's in it. It's got some fizz in it, and it's in a long champagne flute, so you can look elegant but feel like a fool. That was the mission with that particular drink.
How did you get across to me, a 53-year-old numpty bloke, right, that we don't need to worry as much about the teenagers as we think? We should maybe allow them to worry a bit more about us, because they seem to be across a lot more than we've even begun to imagine.
They're amazing. I don't think we need to worry about them. They are so much more evolved than we ever were. And I think it's because of the political situation we put them in, and because of the internet, of course. They have everything at their fingertips, and they use it in kind of an interesting way. Yeah. But I tried to just keep the movie honest for this generation, and luckily the people in the movie are from this generation, so they could tell me, like, Olivia, this thing right here, it's BS, we need to shift it. And I was like, yes, please make it better, make it more authentic, because all those great movies like Breakfast Club, they were honest and specific to that generation, and you didn't feel like it was a grown-up telling you what kids believe.
Guy Ritchie's Aladdin, yours and Guy's Aladdin, yours and Naomi's Aladdin, yours and Will Smith's Aladdin. How did you get the job?
It was an interesting process. I had seen the online audition notice, like everyone had, and I sent in a tape. We didn't hear anything back for 4 months, so I kind of thought, all right, it's dead in the water. And 4 months later, we heard back, and it was all of a sudden things started ramping up. So I flew to London twice to test for it, and then I booked it.
They put you up not in a hotel and not in a house, as some actors request or are gifted, but in a pub.
Yes, in the basement of a pub. No. The Star and Garter. I stayed at the Star and Garter.
How was the Star and Garter in Richmond for you? I've been there many, many times.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Actually, funny story, Naomi, who plays Jasmine, obviously, was actually the one who found us our apartments at the Star and Garter. Right. So I was living out of a hotel until she finally found us an apartment.
Writing Angels. Where was it? When was it?
It was January the 8th, 1997, and it was our second day of working together. I'd woken up with a terrible sinus infection, and I phoned my mum up and said, "Oh, Mum, I'm going to cancel today. I just feel terrible. In fact, I just want to order a doctor to come in." And she said, "Guy, I've got this feeling that you really shouldn't cancel today." And so I didn't cancel, and that was the day he walked in singing the "I sit and wait, does an angel go?" And he had that melody already in his head, and I just ran to the piano as he was literally walking through the door singing that, and we wrote it in about an hour. And then he left, and he got a cab, played it to the cabbie, and the cabbie said, "That's your first number one, Robbie," which sadly it wasn't. It went to number 4, but never mind.
But it saved the day.
Yeah, and I ordered a doctor in, and I did have a massive sinus infection. So
really?
The message from that is, if you're feeling really bad, you should still go to work.
So it's based on this real woman called Anne Lister.
Yeah.
I guess she was sort of the first open lesbian in society, and she was this diarist. She wrote millions of words in her diary, and it was all in code. And they were buried and hidden away, and they were sort of discovered in the 80s, and they've been translated. And it's this extraordinary story. She lived openly as a lesbian. She was this sort of, she walked around in a top hat, and she owned land, and she was fearless, and she married a woman, and that's who I play.
Soon to be returning in season 2 of Sky Atlantic's dangerously sexy Riviera. Please go wild for the mesmerising Julia Stiles.
Morning, Julia.
Oh, hello. Good morning. Wow, what a morning.
So for people who haven't seen Riviera, you are the main character. You run the show. You are the ringmaster. You're in, I think, almost every scene. Just recap for people who haven't seen it. What's going on?
It's a show about wealthy people in the south of France who are criminal. And I play an American who is married to a billionaire who ends up dead in the first episode, and she's dealing with her grief and discovering that there's fraud in their marriage.
I wish that I was good in love. If only I could wake you up, my love, my love, my love, my love. Won't you stay away? I wish you cared a little more. I wish you told me this before, my love, my love, my love, my love. Won't you stay away? Stay away. Stay away. My love, my love, my love. Won't you stay away?
Lewis and I are not sharing a particular pot, but sharing similar pots.
We're both sucking on something, that's for
We
sure.
are indeed.
Yeah.
And by the way...
Can you say that on the radio?
Yeah, well...
Because you can. You can. You just can. Because the context is that we are.
Yeah, you are.
Julia, you recognise these particular pots, don't you?
I did. I saw somebody walking with that in the hallway, and I was like, "Oh, a neti pot."
Right.
A neti pot. I'm from theatre. It's for your vocal cords, for
It
your
is
voice, for
indeed.
your respiration.
It is indeed.
All the good stuff.
It's Dr. Nelson's improved inhaler. It may be over 100 years old. It has that Victorian sort of Jekyll and Hyde laboratory look about it anyway, don't you think?
It's got it's like a porcelain vibe, and it reminds you of something that you might go to the bathroom in.
Yeah, or it reminds you of a sort of teapot that's gone wrong and lost its top.
Exactly.
It's like a sauna for your mouth. If you haven't got time for a sauna, or you don't know where one is, or it's not, or you do know where one is, you have got time for it, but it's not turned on.
That's a very good way of putting it. Sauna for your mouth, except there's no sweaty men in there.
First of all, tell us the story. Recap on the story of your maturing years. Sorry, eyes. sorry.
I saw my sister-in-law and she had a nice pair of glasses on, and through sheer vanity I said, "Oh, can I try on your frames? Because I think they'd look nice on me." And I put them on and didn't really care about how they looked on me, because suddenly everything became clearer. Well, I went to one optician. They did the whole eye test, and it's very important to get your eyes tested. I got an email from the nice people at Vision Express, and they said, "Come down to us and we'll sort you out with some frames." Because of the show? Yeah.
Ooh, another reason to work at Virgin Radio.
So I went yesterday and I got a set. My friend Lucy, I have to say thank you to Lucy, she came to help me pick them.
Rachel's new glasses for the first time out of the box, and hurrah!
Oh, yes.
Very good. Come on, big round of applause. They do look fantastic.
Faye Tozer.
Good morning, Faye.
Well, that's an introduction, isn't it?
Well, you're worth it. The show that you're in,
Yes.
Faye, but you will do a far better job of this. Now, I know you appreciate hugely, because of your job and your profession, live musical theatre.
Absolutely.
And theatre in general. Tell them why. What is this about? It starts in Sheffield. Go.
It's everybody is talking about Jamie. It's about a 16-year-old boy who managed to overcome all his fears,
inhibitions.
And basically went to school prom wearing a dress because he was determined to be a drag queen. So it's his journey. It's a coming of age performance and play. It's a wonderful story around how families deal with that. It's about anti-bullying. It's empowering. It's really fun.
And you got to hear this conversation. It's very, very important. Okay, it began with Rachel saying to Faye Tozer, when steps split up for the first time, and then she began to cry, and she's got herself back together and continued the conversation.
Well, I was working at Newsround as a presenter-reporter because you split up on Boxing Day, and we were all at home for Christmas, and everybody got texts from the editor saying, steps have split, who's in the country? I was in Northern Ireland, so I couldn't help. And I was gutted because I was like, this is a really big story. And our viewers were obsessed. It was so huge at the time.
Did you have any idea? Did you have any idea it was such a big deal?
So, no, not at all, because it's been well documented how it all ended. They said that they were going to release it a bit later on when we were all back, and they didn't, and it was Boxing Day, and it was horrendous. And I got a phone call from my Auntie Kathy going, "Hiya, love, it's been released in the papers," and it was like, yeah. It wasn't my favourite Christmas either.
Because you'd done a concert just a few days before Christmas.
Yeah,
Did
Manchester,
you know then?
we finished. Yeah, it was literally at the end of that. No, just before we went on for the last show.
You were 5 when Steps split up?
All right.
Okay, we've done the maths.
Yeah. What year did this start?
2001.
So I would have been five years old.
Okay, were you aware? Did you hear news round? Were you across the story?
I was there with everyone else screaming at the TV. No, come on.
What are you thinking?
Steps! Come on. No, but yeah, I remember.
Good morning, Daisy. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Hop over to this microphone
Okay.
here because it's just been vacated. 4th year of the Durrells. This is it. You know, in the blink of an eye, my dear. In the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's all gone so quickly. I just don't know where these 4 years have gone. It's just crazy.
So the first time you heard the phrase the Durrells TV show, ITV, perhaps you, was when and from whom and where were you?
So I was doing a play at the National.
Yep.
And only a tiny part though.
Uh-huh.
And I got an email from my agent saying, there's an audition for the Durrells, go in. And I read the script and I was like, this is just fantastic script. It's amazing. But I was very early on in my career and I'd never done a lead in anything before. And I was like, I'm sure it's very unlikely that I'd get it. And then I did, and that was crazy. And I remember it was when the show had just finished, and it was the morning after I'd finished the show, and I got the call saying I got it. And I was so hungover in bed, and I just suddenly livened up, and it was just the best feeling in the world. My mum said actually it's kind of like having her own home movies of me, because I'm kind of
that's a lovely thing to say.
I'm kind of like she's kind of got me in my early 20s historically put on screen, so she's got
so nice.
So when she's older on her DVD, when I'm older with kids and stuff, she can look back on me when I was young. I have a story about that. I was in year 3, and I got
everybody has to reference how old they were.
I know. For my birthday, I got this book of postcards. Maybe it was for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas because it would have been like you split off on Boxing Day. So I got this book of Steps postcards.
All the merch gone out for
I
Christmas.
had some merch and I brought it into school to show everyone, and I had no idea that you'd split up. And then someone said, they split up, and I burst into tears.
I think the Steps split up. The current version of the Steps split up on Boxing Day, which made you cry, Daisy, is the fact that the Durrells is ending.
There we go. That's broken my heart.
Yeah, it's broken my heart
Oh,
too.
you can't try and get her back for that. It's in the script, see? It's in
What
the
goes
script.
around comes around.
Yeah, but also,
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.